Hi, everyone. Jacqueline Foster here. I want to talk today about scaling your freelance paralegal to multiple six figures and the strategies involved and how a paralegal goes from paralegal to freelance paralegal into a six-figure business owner. Now, I'm going to be releasing another topic around your business model because that's going to play a huge part in scaling to six figures and looking at the scalability of whichever business model you choose. Each business model, as far as we're looking at, being a solo freelancer, building up a team, having a group, or converting into an agency type model, they all have scalability potential into six figures for sure. It's just each one looks a little different and has a little different strategy behind it and how you're going to scale it to six figures. But with all the business models that we will eventually be discussing, then one thing stays true. You cannot scale a freelance paralegal business to the six-figure mark without establishing yourself as an authority, as an expert in your unique specialization and your unique offering. So that's my number one tip. When you're starting your freelance paralegal business, really consider how you're going to specialize and differentiate yourself even more than maybe you already have, to stand out and build an even stronger online presence, a stronger persona, a stronger brand within this whole web of the networking, social media hole that there is out there. How are you going to specialize, or how are you going to set yourself apart from others out there that are doing freelance work as well? So when we look at specializing, we really need to think about what we're uniquely good at. You might be, like I was as a paralegal, jack of all trades, master of none. It's ideal for you to select a few practice areas that you are exceptionally competent, passionate about, and with full confidence you can perform great services for your clients within that practice area or within that specialization and what you're offering. Then curate an online presence around that specialization. So when I first started my freelance business, I was trying to advertise all these services that I could potentially do for my client, and it overwhelmed me. I didn't even know where to start to market it. And I didn't know anything about marketing at the time, nothing. I mean, zero. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, how do I even come up with a slogan? How do I even come up with a name? How do I do these things when I'm offering all the things? It's like jack of all trades, master of none, LLC kind of feeling. I needed to hone in on my specialty. I was specializing in staffing solutions. And now to this day, that's what I've built my entire company around, and my entire brand and my entire expertise is around staffing solutions and managing staff for law firms. I specialized, and to this day, I still continue to specialize. So when we're looking at freelance paralegals that want to scale a business to six figures, you really have to specialize in something. And it could be a few things, but narrow in your expertise so that you can confidently market a whole load of different types of content ideas and networking strategies. And get into that, building that online presence, you can start to tailor and cater your marketing around the specialization. So you're writing blogs based on your specialization. You're publishing articles with other places based on your specialization. You're creating videos, creating regular posts, picture, infographics, all of those things within your specialization. Further, your specialization, you're going to be able to target your ideal audience for that specialization. For instance, if you're a personal injury paralegal and you want to focus your expertise in personal injury, you know that your target audience, who the people you want to be connecting with on LinkedIn and train the LinkedIn algorithm to focus only on the personal injury people out there, law firms, paralegals, attorneys, etc. out there, is by connecting with those types of people. So you start making those connections, it's strategic connections with personal injury. You're creating a relevant audience for yourself. When you have a specialization, all of your stuff, quote, is going to be very on point and repeatable and memorable. How paralegals can support personal injury attorneys to allow them to take in more clientele, more revenue, higher profit margins as a result of working with you. talking about how you can streamline and optimize their case management, their legal project workflow, to get from conception to completion at minimal cost, higher ROI, better outcomes, etc. So that's what you're focusing on with your content marketing. And every single time you publish, you're publishing on the same topic. They're going to start connecting their brains with you as the go-to person for this situation, to a problem that they might be experiencing, and you being the solution because this is all you live, sleep, breathe, do, is what they're having an issue with. Staffing on the paralegal side for their personal injury law firm. They're stuck in pre-litigation. They're stuck in the demand process. They're stuck getting medical records. Wherever their bottlenecks are happening, you've talked about it in your content marketing. But once they get to a certain stage of that sales cycle where they're now ready, they're ready to make a decision and make a hire, you're the memorable go-to expert in that specialization. So I hope you can sort of correlate the difference, the comparison of if I were to just go out there and say like, and I know why paralegals do this. I'm going to deviate for a minute. I know why we do this. I know why I did it, because you want to give yourself the biggest chance possible to grab a client. And I always say, it's like we're throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing which one will stick. And I totally understand that way of thinking. And I totally can empathize with that strategy, feeling the need to have that strategy, because you don't want to exclude any potentials. You don't want to say, okay, I'm only even better if you can go to the state. You don't want to say, I'm only going to attract personal injury clients in Georgia because I don't want to do that, because now I could be eliminating all the potential. I have a bigger potential reaching the thousands and thousands and thousands of attorneys across the country in personal injury. Or I've done estate planning. I know I can draft, ancillary documents at the very least very well. So why don't I also offer that service and see, because then I'm broadening my pool more. Okay. 2 is okay. I'm not saying that you have to stick to one. It's ideal if you can stick to one. 2 or 3 is okay, especially if you're seeing like a common theme. Family law a lot of the times does have estate planning, or you do have your general practice attorneys. You could specialize with general practice attorneys, but really focusing in on what you do for those general practice attorneys and marketing to those general practice attorneys. But when you have a power here, you are really, really good at something or 2 things, 2 practice areas, you are not narrowing your reach by narrowing your services. You're actually on the flip, by broadening your service offerings, you're narrowing your reach, because you're the jack of all trade, master of none, which is not memorable necessarily to certain attorneys that have specific problems and they want a very on point solution to it. So I hope this is making sense, and where to get your business scaling, to start getting repeat clients, to start getting referrals. The more you can identify yourself as a niche, however you want to say it, expert in that specific industry, the quicker you're going to see progress, the more referrals you're going to start developing. You're going to feel more confident and clear focused on your content marketing strategy, on the topics you're going to expand on within that category, and you're really going to be able to establish yourself as an authority. Further, it's also going to help you expand your network and create strategic alliances. So a lot of my business comes from referrals. That doesn't necessarily mean client referrals. I have strategic alliances within the same space as myself. So for instance, I have strategic alliances in the recruiting space that do not do 1099. The people you connect with on LinkedIn is very important and critical to maintain and align with your ideal client, because the more you connect with those people, the more LinkedIn's going to show your stuff to those types of people that are following the same demographics. That's the other reason we're strategically building our network, so that we're not noise in the crowd and nobody's seeing it. Our content is on point. It's built for a specific person. And then we're also building our network to be connecting with that specific type of person. Specializing has an immense amount of benefits, obviously, from your expertise and authority. Well, let me back up one more. Let's go one more step below that, or above that, behind that. your clarity in the business that you're building and the way you're structuring your services, your pricing, your website, your how you're positioning your brand, etc. The ability to create authority and expertise, which is critical for scaling a business to 6 figures. You have to become an authority and an expert in your business and in your industry and in your offering and your specialization. It tells all these potential clients out there that you are the perfect fit for their problem, to solve their problem, because you're in alignment with everything that they do. It opens the door for additional referrals, because typically, for instance, personal injury attorneys know personal injury attorneys, know more personal injury attorneys, right? So they can easily, refer you out. It helps you build a very strategic network of your ideal clients, of your potential strategic alliances. Specialize to expand. I hope that makes sense. Specialize, narrow to broaden your reach, instead of broadening, which will narrow your reach. If you try to speak to everybody, nobody will hear you. Okay. So thank you so much for watching and listening today. Until next week, have great days ahead of you.